I think like a lot of Americans, I left college with student loan debt. And there were times in my early 20s where I was between jobs and I would have to defer payment for 6 months or something like that and then come back to a payment plan. Do things like that affect my credit score in the long term? And also just in general, what about student loan debt? How does that play into your credit score?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So many Americans have student loan debt. And, you know, there can be different kinds of student loans. There can be private student loans or there can be federal student loans. Private student loans would be through a bank and may not have as many options for payment plans, whereas government student loans have a lot of options like deferment, income-based repayment. And so it's important if you have really either student loan that you communicate with your creditor if you're unable to pay, because there are lots of options for you. The ways that it could affect your credit, similar to the percentages I was talking about earlier, you know, making on-time payments is really important. And if you are in deferment or in any kind of a payment plan where you're actually not paying, it still reports as current or on-time payments on your credit. So it's really important, instead of, which is a natural reaction when we can't pay something, to avoid it and hide and maybe not say something. I
definitely made some of those mistakes in my early 20s.
That's okay.
Yes. It's better to just open that envelope and read the notice, I feel like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's actually better to communicate because there could be a program available to you to help you get through that hardship. Also, 30% debt that you have, so if you're ultimately in deferment and you're not paying back your student loans, that's going to be debt that's sitting on your credit report and not being paid down, so that could affect your credit score.
Right, that makes sense as that percentage of the overall score, of course. So